Hello, this is Pradeep Kumar, Professor. Welcome you to the presentation on various aspects of irrigation engineering. I am sure it will stand to the expectations of students appearing for semester examinations and various competitive examinations and interviews. For the sake of convenience and lucidity, various concepts and aspects of irrigation are presented under 21 subheads as separate lectures as listed in the tables. Each presentation is in conversational mode with stress on the concepts and field application. Now, let us proceed with the second lesson, advantages and ill effects of irrigation. With the discussion we had in the first lesson, we are convinced beyond doubt irrigation is necessary in tropical country like India with rain-dependent dry lands constituting 65% of net sown area and nearly 60 to 70% of her population being dependent on agriculture. So, only with the assured timely supply of adequate quantity of water on the field, we can ensure proper nourishment and growth of crops, thus leading to a bumper yield. A farmer knows where, when, and how much water to supply to ensure good yield. In the present day scenario, where we cannot think of living without a mobile, a farmer easily becomes tech savvy with user friendly agricultural app and IoT, that is Internet of Things. I am sure with whatever we have discussed till now, you may be of the opinion that irrigation means simply supply of water. However, actually irrigation encompasses land preparation for seeding, germination and root development, management of soil fertility, drainage, crop selection, proper nutrient supply to the plants and maintaining the quality of the plants and output, pest control, and finally soil reclamation and erosion control. Now, let us discuss various advantages of irrigation. Before proceeding, let me ask you a question, especially with reference to interview. What is the practical application of learning this topic? We know an irrigation project is a massive and multi-crore project. Its approval depends upon financial justification. That is, benefits have to overweigh the cost of the project. So, in order to study the financial viability of the proposed project, all the advantages and ill effects are to be converted into equivalent financial terms. Hence, a prior knowledge of the advantages and ill effects is a must. Controlled and timely supply of required quantity of water is possible through irrigation. It results in increased area of cultivation, increased crop yield with good quality. As irrigation controls the speed and quantity of runoff, soil erosion is reduced. This ensures the preservation of structure of the topsoil, which is highly fertile. With irrigation, farmer will be confident to raise superior and high priced crops such as sugarcane, potatoes, tobacco, etc. in place of low priced crops such as millets, bajra, etc. Cash crops ensure good return for the same hard work and expenditure. Irrigation will be a protection against occurrence of droughts and famines. As discussed in the first lesson, a tropical country has high chances of suffering from famines and droughts, situations wherein the yield is reduced drastically and poverty is a common scene everywhere. New irrigation works called relief works started especially during the periods of droughts and famines provide employment to the farmers and various persons in the villages, thus discouraging the migration of villagers, especially farmers, to the cities around for livelihood. We know demands from different crops are different. Let it be land preparation or irrigation. Some crops need very little quantity of water, say dry crops like millets. Some crops require huge quantity of water like wet crops. Because of uncertainty of rainfall, a farmer will have tendency to opt for raising the crops of both the varieties at the same time on the same field with a hope at least one crop will come to his or her rescue. For example, if rain is heavy, wet crop will be happy, but dry crop due to excess water will get rotten. On the other hand, If there is a scanty rain, dry crop is happy, wet crops will wilt. Finally, the farmer is the sufferer. If irrigation is assured, then the farmer opts for a single and most suitable and profitable crop in that area. Thus, irrigation eliminates mixed cropping and its undesirable consequences. Storage, diversion, and conveyance structures are needed in an irrigation scheme. However, during flood seasons, the carrying capacity and storing capacity of these structures can be used to absorb the flood and thus reduce its damage. As irrigation is a massive scheme, it involves planning, development, construction, management, and maintenance of various irrigation and other allied structures. Irrigation through agriculture allows the growth of various agro-based industries. All these aspects increase employment opportunities and also lead to higher wages. Flowing water in irrigation canals can be used to transport cargo, thus reducing the burden on the road and railway traffic and also making the transportation more economical means. By increasing the top width of the bank of an irrigation canal, it can be used as a means of transport from interior villages to main roads or towns. Thus, irrigation ensures enhanced communication. We know canals pass through many villages and towns. By increasing storage capacity of a reservoir and conveying capacity of canals, domestic demands of these villages and towns can be met with a marginal increase in the cost. In addition, water demand from the cattle can also be met. At some places, canal water is the main source of water supply. Example, Delhi depends upon canal water supplies. Development of an irrigation facility involves mainly reservoir and canal. While reservoir is the source of potential energy, canal and canal falls are the sources of both potential energy and kinetic energy. These energies can be tapped through turbines to meet a part of power demand. A reservoir allows growth and development of fish, leading to pisciculture. Water demand of wildlife is also taken care of through the supplies from reservoir. Another conspicuous advantage of irrigation is increase in exchequer, that is, increase in revenue of the government. Irrigation involves purchase of different agricultural machinery, fertilizers, pesticides. Irrigation makes the land more useful and fertile, increasing the cost of land. Irrigation water is also taxed. Improvement in living conditions of farmers facilitates purchase of household electronic and electrical gadgets to lead a comfortable and a happy life. Irrigation also facilitates recreation, landscaping, boating, wildlife preservation, swimming, parks, animal houses, as water is mainly available as a source. Enhanced activities in the departments such as railways, roadways, customs, excise, post and telegraph lead to additional revenue to the government. Irrigation also ensures very fast manufacturing in different agro-based industries. Irrigation makes agriculture a competitive and profitable business. A country without irrigation facilities will be like as shown in figure. However, once irrigation facility is provided, that leads to increase in income and also cash flow and ensures overall development of the country. Then the country is going to become like as shown in figure. Evaporation and seepage of canal water tend to increase the extent of forest area. Along the banks of the canal, plants can be grown, leading to social forestry which retards soil erosion. Further, deep seepage of water from reservoir and canals leads to rise in groundwater level. This reduces load on the pump, hence cost of the pumping gets reduced. All the points, that is advantages of irrigation discussed till now, when put together and as irrigation ensures good nutrition to the people and cattle, overall development of a country is a foregone conclusion. Now, let us discuss the other side of irrigation, that is ill effects of irrigation. As a coin has two sides, so is the irrigation. Irrigation involves storage of water in the reservoir and also on the agricultural lands, this storage culminates in development of marshes and ponds which become breeding places for mosquitoes, resulting in malaria. Storage and conveyance of water from the reservoir and in the canal lead to seepage of water. Excessive seepage, over irrigation and poor drainage make the presence of undesirable quantity of water in the root zone, leading to the condition called waterlogging. This retards growth of the root system and finally resulting in very poor quality and quantity of the yield. Another ill effect arising from irrigation is development of unhealthy climate. We know irrigation involves storage and circulation of water not only on the land but also in the atmosphere. This increases humidity in the atmosphere. The density of humid air is always more when compared to dry air. Once density increases, the load on the lungs also will increase. The temperature of the surrounding atmosphere gets reduced. It results in damp condition. This aggravates the situation, especially for people suffering from asthma or respiratory problems, etc. We know a farmer uses fertilizers and pesticides for raising the crop. Once watering is done, these pesticides and fertilizers get dissolved and they may flow as a surface runoff or they may join as a deep groundwater, finally resulting in pollution of either surface water or groundwater. An irrigation scheme involves in laying a canal system. This involves in consumption of valuable residential and industrial land. So, because of irrigation, valuable land is lost. Since irrigation projects are massive and consume huge quantity of natural resources, man-made resources, including time, they are very costly and makes the farmers pay more taxes. Provision of a canal network along with various canal structures cause hindrance for natural drainage. We know disturbance to the natural drainage causes flooding and submergence of crop and land. If irrigation work are extended as a protective measure and also social welfare measure, then the revenue return from such projects will be low. Now, let us switch over to next subtopic, that is multiple choice questions. An arid region is one in which precipitation is less than 25 centimeters per year. Irrigation is needed in arid region, semi-arid region, humid region, in all the above A, B and C. The answer is D. In a semi-arid region, the rainfall is, if annual rainfall is between 25 and 50 centimeters, then that area is known as semi-arid region. For a humid region, the annual rainfall is more than 50 centimeters. Find the incorrect statement. England may need irrigation, Israel needs irrigation, Sri Lanka needs irrigation, India needs irrigation. Answer is A. Select the correct statement. Irrigation always raises the groundwater level. Irrigation always results in malaria. Irrigation has advantages and ill effects. Irrigation is applied to raise only cash crops. Answer is C. Before winding up, let us recapitulate whatever that has been discussed in this presentation. We had an illustrated discussion on advantages of irrigation, ill effects of irrigation, followed by multiple choice questions, in between intercepted by interview-oriented questions. Before signing off, I request you to leave your comments in the comment section to enhance communication between us. Like and share the video among your friends and concerned. Subscribe to my channel by clicking the bell icon, the best way of getting updated with the information on the latest videos pertaining to other topics of irrigation engineering, fluid mechanics, hydraulics and hydrology, in addition to career planning. Thank you very much and wish you an excellent future.